Why, hello, and welcome to issue 641 of Geek in the City Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Duran.
And I'm your other host, Kaebel Hashtani.
How's it going, buddy?
Host.
Yes.
It's going well. Beanarita is, of course, on an away mission. So
yes, to the Great White North.
Do we devolve into Strange Brew jokes now, or do we just move on? Okay.
No, because she'll get mad at us when she gets back. So we don't need that at all.
Her bullshit senses will go tingling, and she'll just like, Aaron
Right.
and Kaebel are up to shenanigans that I don't know what they're doing, but I don't like it preemptively.
Yes. She'll be like, and so it means I must destroy them when I get back.
Yes.
With her look. The law.
Yep, she has a look. She has a couple.
So I like the little. What'd you think of that little intro I gave us?
I like that. I got a little caught up in like Starfields are one of those moving Starfields are one of those happy places in my head. So I will just stare at it and go, and forget what I'm doing entirely.
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked it.
Yeah,
and a Starfield seems appropriate for us.
And it's the same reason that I've tried all kinds of ASMR, and the ones that work best for me are either warp engines idling or bridge noise.
Yeah, the one that works best on me is Enterprise D engine room night shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
because there's less beeping and doors in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't do classic TOS bridge. It's too active.
I can't do it as relaxing ASMR, but I can do it as white noise that needs to distract my brain while I'm focusing on a task that I'm sitting at a computer for.
Yes, that I can do. Absolutely.
I think it bugs the shit out of the people around me, but
it wouldn't bug me.
No. But not everyone I work with is a Trekkie.
Well, then why do they work there? What's the point?
Most of them are badged. So
we've
had a round of new hires that I haven't gotten. You know those badges that I got from the Geek Dad on Etsy? Yeah. I actually need to put in a new order with him because we've had a lot of new hires and changes in departments. So
nice. Also, happy First Contact Day.
Happy First Contact Day.
Did you have salmon?
We did not, because we had already planned on having leftover vegetable pot pie.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, we didn't either.
I made it over the weekend. It was a new recipe, so it was really good. All vegetables. You prepare it in a cast iron skillet. You use puff pastry as the topping.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, I mean any pot pie is good pot pie. Honestly,
this is true. I think I want to try this recipe again and use like Pillsbury biscuits as the topping, right?
It's like when I make if I make like an apple pie, I will just roll out like the Pillsbury Cinnabon dough as my crust.
Oh,
yeah.
That had not occurred to me before. That's not a bad idea.
It's tasty.
Okay.
Well, next time I will invite you and Merrick over when I make one of my big meat pies, because I'm kind of obsessed with making meat pies.
Okay. That would be great.
Yeah. What a weird invite. Come have meat pies with me.
It's
I'll add a little bit of priest.
Fair. No, like you inviting us over for food is not unusual for you. It's not that weird.
That's true. That's what I do. Speaking of First Contact Day, that Starfield, I really wanted it. I really wanted to use the closing First Contact theme. But both Twitch and YouTube has their band hand strong.
They went, no, that will get us sued.
Yes. So attention, Twitch and YouTube. That music I did use, I purchased, and it is considered a fair use. Once you purchase it, it is, swear to God, it's mine. Same with the Starfield. I specifically went to a site that sells free use just video backgrounds. And then I made the mix. So don't ban us. Thanks.
When will the Geek in the Kitchen cookbook come out? That's a good question.
I've talked about doing some kind of cookbook in the past. Much like how 10 years ago I pitched a D&D cookbook to Wizards and was told this is never something we're going to do, but thanks for the offer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As always, Aaron Duran is 10 years ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, all radio podcast dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, though, if we did a Geek in the City cookbook now, that would be I feel like all three of us have interesting things to offer.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Huh.
We'll have to table that one. Huh.
All right. That might be that's a future plan discussion.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. How's your week been?
It has been very busy. I still can't say what's going on. A few things that are going on I can't talk about yet. All of them. But today, I wook up to amazing news that someone just sent me a direct message on that I had no idea about.
What's that?
Season of the Bruja made Yahoo's top 10 comics to read in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did.
I'm up there with Kelly Sue DeConnick's Wonder Woman Historia and Saga, and it's freaking me out.
I think that the time is right.
Thanks.
I know that this, for all kinds of reasons, got delayed.
Yeah, I mean...
But this might have worked, considering that you're always ahead of the curve, this might have worked in your favor this time. This time, pop culture caught up to you and went, you know what we would really like? This. And you went, here
I am.
This has been sitting in my brain for a decade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we have more?
I hope so. I've been told issue 1 has done very well. I'm hesitant to say anything else because I don't want my editor or publishers to be like, dude, that's not true. So don't go saying that.
Right.
What I will say is if you have not picked up issue 1 from your local shop and they have a copy, you should probably do that. For reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If your local shop is out of issue 1, there's also very possibly a reason for that. And that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Things are actually incredibly stressful, but not in the worst ways. I'm exhausted, but for once it's not an exhaustion due to the world.
Frustration.
I mean, the world is still there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still adding to it, but I don't know. Good exhaustion has been nice for a change over these past 2.5 years.
So I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit.
Okay.
Part of your and I's friendship, for over the decade that we've known each other, one of the things that I have poked at you the most is always you are fantastic at promoting and lifting up everyone else around you, especially when they do something creative and new and exciting, and you're a fantastic hype man, unless it comes to yourself.
Sure.
And I am very proud of how you have been in the weeks leading up to this, and especially this past week. It has not, it hasn't become a total 180 where you're nothing but egotistical, but you are very proud of your achievements that you have put the work in for, and you are celebrating it. And I am so proud of you. I am so proud that you have gotten to that phase and are doing that. And I wanted to tell you that.
Well, Thank you very much. I will refrain from getting too emotional, even though it's like because Jen has told me the same thing in the last couple of weeks. She's basically said the exact same thing. So you and my wife think the same way. Actually, and a lot of people have been saying, yeah.
So I love you, Aaron Duran. I'm incredibly proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm very bad at taking any form of compliments.
You're much better about it than you used to be. So take the win, dude. Take the win.
That's true. Usually by now I would be saying something very self-deprecating.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! That wasn't me panic at self-deprecation jokes. It was. So I've had this quick, and I will whatever. I've had this computer for a couple years now, and I will still do a weird hand gesture, and a whole window pops up, and I'm like, "Where did you come from? What are you?" And then I'll look it up later. It's like it's the intuitive hand gesture that senses. You're like, "Well, don't. It's freaking me out."
What intuitive hand with the Surface?
Yes, but I mean, apparently, if my here we go. If my cursor is on.
And then he disappeared. And now I have to vamp all on my own. Aaron, please come back. How was everyone else's week? Well, hopefully he's going to be coming back soon here. I will mention that on the show tonight that he and I are going to talk about the first episode of Moon Knight and kind of give our thoughts about the first episode and thoughts about where the show is going. Oh, good, you came back.
Why did everything changed? What is good? Thank you for proving my point, self.
I just immediately went to, well, I hope he comes back. In the meantime, I'm going to tell everyone what we're doing on the show tonight. So
I don't know what my camera's doing. It got really bright all of a sudden.
It did.
Oh my god! What? Hold on. Yeah. So there you go. Don't mess with the hand gestures on the Surface.
Okay, I won't.
Apparently,
I won't ever do that.
That means we lost the whole chat again, didn't we? Ah, damn it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's just for me.
Just for you. Yeah.
Okay. The last one I got was I'm waiting to see the sun every fucking week. Yeah. Okay, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Norm's got to get those shots in there.
I know.
It wouldn't be Norm if it wasn't Norm.
I'm a professional broadcaster.
Yes,
guys.
you are.
That's
anyway.
Right.
Like I was saying, we were going to talk about Moon Knight first episode and first thoughts. We are going to skip Avatar: The Last Airbender this week and dive into season 2. And Denise is back and can give her thoughts as well.
Yes.
We are instead, since it's First Contact Day, talk about the potential glory that is promised in the trailer and character teasers for Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
As well as the teaser that dropped for Picard season 3.
Yeah, and I saw people post like, man, the ratings must be great on season 2 if they're already announcing season 3. And I was like, they announced they were filming 2 and 3 at back to back.
Yeah. They actually just finished filming 3.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago they wrapped season 3. Mm-hmm. So
that's why there was news even before Picard had started this second season that there was a COVID break at I think part of the crew and cast ended up with COVID and they had to take a break.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, why are they still filming? It's like because they were filming season 3, not season 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that and probably more of this bullshit.
Probably more of yes. Well,
definitely more of this bullshit.
I was about to make another like hand gesture comment that was going to tie in, not to do with Star Trek. I just read an article from I read an interview of Ewan McGregor because he's kind of in Obi-Wan promo mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he admitted that he has never stopped doing this doing this when he comes to automatic doors. He's like, I can't.
I've heard that.
He's like, I can't help it. And he said something like, he's like, when you get the timing right, it's magic. Yeah, that's it. That makes me happy to know.
And like his teenage daughters are like, Dad,
stop.
They're like preteens, mid-teens.
I don't know. Yeah,
I know he has daughters, and that he was. There's a clip of him talking about. He'd picked his kids up from school, and someone cut them off, and he went road rage and raced after them. He says it's like, because they give children driver's licenses in Hollywood. It's insane. But he pulls up along this car, and it's got these teenagers driving, and he's like yelling at them, and what the fuck is wrong with you, and blah blah. And they like blanch, and then they're looking at him, going, "Dude, is that Obi-Wan Kenobi?"
It would be weird to have Obi-Wan yelling at you.
Obi-Wan Kenobi just cussed me out. I don't know how I feel about this. You should feel bad about your life choices because Obi-Wan Kenobi has just cussed you out.
That's true, but this is a Scottish Obi-Wan Kenobi, so that cuss out was proper and sharp and full of very colorful language.
Yep. And words that you didn't realize were curse words until suddenly they're curse words because a Scotsman said them.
Right. I want to find out. I bet you he still did, because I'm assuming eventually, spoilers in the Obi-Wan show, he's going to use a lightsaber. I want to know if he still had to correct himself to not go vroom, vroom when he was using it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah. Like Laura Dern going, pew, pew. I just love that in the closed caption of The Last Jedi, they just put in pew, pew. Like they just put it in.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
So what do you want to tackle first? You want to tackle Star Trek or Moon Knight?
Let's go ahead and jump right into Star Trek. Screw it. We're kind of in that mood anyway. So do we want to do the Picard season 3, since that's kind of the most fresh? We just saw it. Like, we both rewatched it.
Yeah, and it's got the least amount to really talk about. It's more of a, it's like, oh, this is going to be exciting.
Right. Yeah. So like Kaebel said, they announced basically the teaser for season 3, which we knew was coming, but the big deal is that all of the TNG regulars are back. Or, one last, well, as they say, hey, one last road trip, as Riker said in the teaser.
Yep.
And then I couldn't tell. Are those lines from this? I was trying to remember in my head if those were repurposed lines from the various shows. And it didn't seem like it.
I don't think it was. I think it definitely sounded like reasonable responses from all of those particular characters should, if Jean-Luc Picard suddenly showed up on their door and said, hey, so there's this thing.
Right.
That's exactly how each of those characters would have responded to, like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because like I even went back and watched a few clips from All Good Things, because when they had older Geordi, I remember him saying some lines, talking about the good old days and stuff. I said, nope, none of those are the whole, like, we really did just jump into it, didn't we? That line essentially. And it's not in All Good Things.
No, that seems like it's a very new line.
Yeah.
Same with Worf's line. It's very Klingon, but it's like, I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
No, so yeah, man, I'm super pumped for it. I mean,
it's everyone. It's the Magnificent Seven. It's Stewart, Frakes, Sirtis, McFadden, Burton, Dorn, and Spiner. Which again, I'm like, oh, okay. Which Sung relative are you playing?
Well, B4 is still out there, right?
B4 was dismantled,
but he still exists. That's what I mean.
Yes, but somehow I don't see Spiner putting on data drag one more time.
Yeah, so you think there's still the Sung in. Wait, did he die at the end of season 1 of Picard?
No, he didn't. He was still alive.
So there's that one.
He's still on the planet of the androids.
Right. Yeah. Brad said on a slab in Okinawa. Is that where they put him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's where the facility was that Dr. Girardi was working at.
Right, Girardi and Maddox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am wondering. Okay. So the teaser opens with the music from First Contact, which totally makes sense. The trailer is First Contact Day, and is also regarded as the best TNG movie. So it's the most entertaining. Well, I mean, yeah, it's probably the best. Oh, god damn it! Gestures. You know what? I'm just keeping my hands away from my keyboard. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the best one out of the TNG stuff.
It is.
Yeah, it is. In my head, I was like, am I going to try to? No, it's the one you watch the most. It's the best one. Okay. And also, the teaser came out on, First Contact Day, so that makes sense. And then it ends with the Jerry Goldsmith theme, which again makes sense. That's the TNG theme. But in the middle, right when Spiner begins to talk, the music shifts to essentially Spock's resurrection moment in Search for Spock. That then, when the camera then pans away as he's saying hello to everybody at the end, and he goes like, Jim, your name is Jim. And they all crowd him and happy, and the camera pulls back. And then you get the shot of Vulcan and the bird of prey, and it says the human adventure is only beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of don't think that was an accident of that musical choice. Like, why not use only TNG era music? Like, I feel like that was a narrative choice done by people cutting that teaser. Thoughts?
I think that is I feel like that falls into the valley. It's very much it could certainly be that, and it could certainly be that you're reading too much into it.
Oh yeah, no, and I will
that could easily go either way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like Indigo said in the chat, they have so much to choose from that feels like a deliberate choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely puts more credence in your theory. That's for damn sure.
That it's B4. Which I actually would rather it not be B4. God, could it? What happened to Lore at the end of Descent? Was he just disassembled again? He was just beamed into space as parts, right?
I don't really remember. I don't think that he survived, but yeah. Like, you're caught up on where season 2 of Picard is at, right?
Oh yeah. Totally.
Given that episode also reintroduced us to another member of the Sung family.
God, so that family just gets around, man.
Like, I had a coworker ask me, it's like, so why is it that this, ancestor of Sungs, the creator of Data, it's like, why does their daughter look exactly like, or why does this Data's daughter look like this ancestor of Sung's daughter? Is like, that seems really weird. I'm like, well, I mean, the practical answer is that actress is under contract and needed something to do this season. So what else is she going to do? It's like, oh, yeah, well, okay. Yeah, that's right. It's like, but putting that aside, within the universe, I get like, all the Sungs have ever done are manipulate with things that they're not supposed to. And there is some programmed ancestral memory going on.
Right.
So somewhere in Data's head, he made Soji and Dal look like this daughter of great granddaddy Sung.
Right. And I like that, like, the Sungs all the way up until, you got to assume after Enterprise, like the future was genetics. And eventually they're like, you know what? Our family's been doing this for about 200 years. Let's go to robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like also. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's still really weird to think about the fact that First Contact Day is 41 years from now.
I know. I want to hang on long enough to take a trip to Bozeman, Montana then.
You'll be in your 80s. I'll be in my 90s.
Let's do it.
It can be done.
Yeah. What's I going to say? It just went blank. Oh, I also like how season 2 of Picard, they haven't openly acknowledged it. I think some of the writers have mentioned it, of how they're not ignoring the eugenics wars. They're like, the world is this way because of the eugenics wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these would be, superhuman warlords threw the world into what we have now, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been very smart about how they've cracked it. It's like, it wasn't wars the way that we thought they were going to be in the 60s, but
right,
like all of these things have still kind of happened.
Yeah. Also, I looked up, Lore was disassembled. He was shot by Data and then disassembled.
Okay.
At the end of Descent. It's implied that he does die, but whatever.
Sure. There's still parts there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
I think my favorite little bit of the season 2 of Picard so far has been like with the introduction of the Watcher character in episode 4 and then fleshing it out in episode 5. I'm like, this is you've ventured into Gary 7 territory, didn't you? And sure as shit.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay, you're a Gary 7.
I had suspicions, and then not last week, but the week before, when she takes him through that door.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, that's a Gary 7. And in the last episode, they just flat out acknowledge it. They're like, Kirk's Enterprise encountered someone named Gary 7 that did this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool. I like it.
I mean, all the trappings were there too, like coming through a safe door.
Yep.
And the entire apartment is decked out in mid-century modern furniture.
Yeah.
Yep. Where's Terry Gar?
Oh man, if only. I also like, was it last episode? Yeah, last episode had Leah Thompson in it. Which is pretty cool.
And sitting next to her, the character's last name was Roshenko.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I missed that completely.
Yep. I'm like, hey, look, it's an ancestor of Worf's foster parents. That's
I don't.
That's again more telling.
And I don't think season 2 is going to have a clean ending. It's going to have I think it's going to have
that way.
Doesn't feel that way at all. But I'm still super excited. I'm so jazzed for it.
I especially like where they're going with this current iteration of the Borg Queen and Agnes Jurati.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's no way the Borg Queen's dead from a shotgun blast.
No.
It might have shut her down for a little bit, but you give her some juice and those, nanobots inside are going to go, and that's the sound they make.
This is certainly lending itself to be, so Agnes is going to be the Borg Queen at the end of this season.
Sure is feeling that way.
Which means that's why the face was shielded in the opening.
Agnes.
Yeah, that's Agnes. That's not. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna get weird. It's gonna get so weird.
I'm so down for it. It's so great.
That's actually more than we were going to talk about Picard. Sorry.
Well, let's go back to it really quick. That's fine. Because I saw a few people. In fact, Will Wheaton was trending. Part of it was, I guess he talked about how when he first met Shatner, he said Shatner was mean to him at whatever. I mean, he might have been. And, they asked Shatner about that. And he's like, honestly, don't remember, which is probably true. they would have met during filming of Generations, and that was however many decades ago. Like Shatner's like 92 years old. Quit asking him to remember shit that happened 20 plus years ago.
Yep.
And you know, he was probably just short and curt with Will Wheaton. Not,
sure.
Yeah. It's like, okay, come on, stop it. But the main complaint is everyone's like, how come there's no, you know, Will Wheaton in that cast list? And I have some thoughts on it. He wasn't a 7-season regular, you know. And also, like, I know it's a deleted scene from Nemesis. I never liked the idea that Wesley went back to Starfleet.
Yeah, that never made any sense.
Yeah, like they had finally built his arc where he was done, because everyone expected him to join Starfleet because he revered his father, he revered Picard. You know, his Beverly just assumed that's what her son would do, because she would say, like, you remind me of Jack, you remind me of your dad. So Wesley, as a character when he's young, has this enormous weight of legacy on him without him making his own choice. There's even that episode where he's like, I guess I joined the Academy because I'm supposed to. So when he's offered a chance to go with the Traveler, I thought that was a much better resolution and, you know, new beginning for the character. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to see Wes. If he shows up, great. But I don't want it to be like, you know, Captain Wesley Crusher. All right, Jean-Luc, let's take the gang out for one. Like, I don't want that. And I feel like that's a betrayal of the character.
I think that if Will Wheaton does show up in Picard season 3, which I'm 100% on board for, like, I really appreciate the work that Will Wheaton has put into for Paramount, for the Ready Room, and for promoting Star Trek. Yeah, he's become the perfect after show host for getting to the root of what Trek is doing. I would love to see him show up at, like, return as someone who's been a traveler.
Yeah.
Who's beyond what they normally understand now. It's like, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. That I would love.
As a counter to Q, who's always been adversarial, have Wesley come back as a semi-omnipotent being. It's like, oh no, I'm on your side. All the time.
I mean,
I have always been on your side.
Yeah, and Ida just pointed out in the chat, Will Wheaton has also said that Wesley stayed with the Traveler. So my gut tells me he's actually in. Because like you said, Kaebel, he's doing all this stuff with Paramount Plus. So it's not like there's bad blood.
No, there's not.
And the folks right now who are currently writing Trek, regardless of what some haters say, these are people who grew up with Trek and they adore it. But they also want to do right by telling, you know, good narratives and stuff. So they found that balance. It's unfathomable for me to think this entire writer's room, as they're deciding to bring the gang back for season 3, that no one thought about Wesley. It's just not.
Yep. Or as Indigo mentioned, Denise Crosby.
Right.
Like, I'm sure they'll find a way.
Yeah. And then Jeffrey Combs, just because Jeffrey Combs appears in everything.
It's not Star Trek without Jeffrey Combs.
That's right. So that's why I'm surprised we haven't seen him yet in Discovery.
I think they've got to come up with a new
how long do Andorians live? Do you know?
They top out at like 110.
Okay, so that's not possible.
No.
I was like, could you get an old ass Shran making an appearance in Strange New Worlds? But that's still 100 years after Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. I just love the idea of, like, every time there's a pink skin sitting in an Enterprise, chaos is going to follow.
Yeah, I don't know that he's ever going to top Shran.
No, his Shran's the best.
Yep.
And going back to Wesley really quick. Yeah, Indigo mentioned it's entirely possible if you wanted to for Wesley to show up in Discovery as the Traveler. Like it's like that's the beauty of what happened to his character. He can show up anywhere. Even if we make the assumption that the Traveler can't go back in time. All right, let's make that assumption. Okay, fine. So he can't appear in anything before season 7 of TNG. All right, fine.
There's lots for him to still show up in.
There's a lot of stuff for him to do. Yeah, for sure.
Good. Like all bets are off as far as who's going to show up as what when it comes to lower decks.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, my gut tells me Will Wheaton is in season 3, but they're hiding that.
Sure. I would.
Because it's a potential plot point.
Yep. I would hide it.
Yeah.
I would make that a 100% Easter egg.
Yeah. Yeah. So so yeah, those are thoughts on that Picard teaser, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
I think so.
But talk about fun. Fucking strange new worlds.
Man, I am so there for all of this.
I think what fascinates me the most about this most recent trailer and then all of the character teasers, and if you haven't watched them, listeners, I definitely listeners, head to Paramount Plus's YouTube channel, watch the trailer, and then watch each and every one of these individual character moments, because it gives you just a sample of what we're going to get out of each of these characters. And it's fantastic. Like there are new characters that people are going to love, and we're going to get some backstory about characters that we've known for years but have had very little about. Like I'm so excited for more about Christine Chapel and Dr. M'Benga.
M'Benga, yeah.
Fuck that. That's going to be so great. And
when I was in high school, I was such a dork for Dr. M'Benga, no matter how smart his thing was or small his role, that I wonder if I still have it back at my mom's place. And like my mom kept a lot of my really weird random writings and drawings. I wrote up, designed, ship history, the whole thing of the M'Benga class medical frigate that in my timeline is introduced during the Lost era or during the TOS movie era. Yeah, I'm such a dork for it.
Yep, that sounds like you.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, but everything, like the trailer just looks so dynamic, and it looks like it has that feel of original series, as if it's like if the original series were produced today with our technology. So it's like, yeah, it feels just like that, with just a soupçon of the Kelvin timeline.
Just a little bit.
Like when Pike shows up in that uniform, then I'm like, that's a patterned sleeve. But it's not the arrowhead. It's specifically the command star that goes inside that insignia. That's better. I like that better.
And I think everything's gotten bigger. Like the Enterprise is bigger.
Yep.
Which is one of the things I was really grateful for the Kelvin universe to do that. As big as the ship seemed, as big as it's listed in TOS, canon or whatever. In my mind, because that's about the size of Enterprise D is about the size of a modern US aircraft carrier. And that's big. But in my mind, man, these starships are massive.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Like you see that in there's a beauty shot of this Enterprise going by. It's like those are Kelvin nacelles. Those are Kelvin style nacelles.
A little bit.
And
you still got this,
I love it. like I think that this iteration of the ship is just as gorgeous as any iteration that I've seen of the Enterprise before. I love them all.
I love them all, but when we first saw it at the end of Discovery season 2, I was immediately in love. I was like, that's my favorite design of the Enterprise I've ever seen. It's
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's the perfect balance of both of them.
Anson Mount is still nailing this character in a way that it's like, I never thought that I wanted a Captain Pike TV show. It's like, now this is all I want is a Captain Pike TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just that aside joke of him going, I love this job.
It's so good.
It's like, yep, that's you.
Yeah. The only thing that potentially bums me out is we know eventually we're going to get to a Pike who's just like fucking done with it. We're going to get to the Cage Pike eventually.
This is post the Cage Pike.
This is post the Cage. Never mind. So he has.
This is him getting his second wind.
Right. That's true. I totally spaced on that.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I don't know if you hear the voice in the official full trailer, but that initial Strange New Worlds teaser, when you hear that, where Pike is riding horses as a shuttlecraft flies over him. I always love it when Trek does that. When it mixes the old form with the new. I always love it when Trek does that shit. And saying like, Chris, we need you back, kind of thing. Like, we need you. I am wondering if that's Robert April.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Because he's canon now. Robert April, well, he would have been canon because the animated series is canon. So Robert April is canonically the first captain of the Enterprise. So he'd probably be like Admiral Robert April now or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Or another super nerdy shout out it could be. Maybe not Admiral yet. Maybe a Commodore. It could be Nagura. He's only mentioned once in the motion picture. When Kirk is talking to this. Well, remember when first Kirk shows up in the motion picture, he's like, I have a meeting with Admiral Nagura that's only going to take 5 minutes. And then when he's on the shuttle pod with Scotty going to the Enterprise, and he tells Scotty, they gave her back to me, Scotty. And Scotty's like, gave her back, sir? I doubt it was that easy with Nagura. Kirk's like, right. I don't know. In my head, we never see him. We never hear his voice, but there's one of those dumb characters, not dumb, but one of those characters that I have built such a mythology around of this hard ass, I'm tired of your BS, Starfleet Admiral, and it's Admiral Nagura. Like, I'm not putting up with your BS.
All right.
Yeah.
That would be a deep cut.
Yes, it would.
But would be fun.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to you before the show, and I'll mention it again on air. It's like I after those little character teasers, I 100% have a crush on Lieutenant Ortegas, the helm officer of the USS Express.
Yes. You know what? I can already hear Bean, if you listen to the show, being, okay, guys, okay, reel it in.
Maybe I have a thing for the pilots of starships.
I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I can see that.
Except Tom Paris.
No one likes Tom. Well, that's not fair, but
yeah, because I like Mayweather. Mayweather. Sulu. Both Sulus.
Yeah.
Their helm officer for Deep Space Nine was Dax.
Yep. For the Defiant.
Which
TNG kind of had a rotating helm because Data was essentially Ops Navigator.
Yes. That's the thing that confuses people the most. Data's station was Ops.
Yeah.
The pilot of the ship was always the person to his right.
Right.
And most often it was Wesley.
In the first few seasons, yeah, it was Wesley.
It was for a lot of seasons.
Well, how long? Yeah.
He was on there for 6 seasons.
I guess so.
I always forget. And they moved him into acting ensign in like season 2. And so he started piloting the ship from season 2 on.
Yeah.
So it was always him or a handful of extras that they would move through.
Right. Whenever Riker or Picard didn't have to be like, let me take this one.
Mm-hmm.
But that was usually when the ship was literally in danger. And yeah, so.
Yeah. Paris was fine. Like, I like Robert Duncan McNeil, don't get me wrong. Like, Paris is who he is, but he definitely had that level of cockiness that seems to be prevalent in Starfleet pilots. Like, in all pilots, really, you have to have that level of cockiness. But it's definitely been one of my favorite things about Discovery is fucking Detmer. God damn Detmer. Oh man. When I thought they were like, I didn't honestly believe they were going to kill her in that finale. I didn't think that was going to happen. But there was that tiny little voice in my mind like, but what if they kill her?
They brought it right up to the line. I was like, holy shit, are they going to kill off Detmer in this?
Yeah. If they had done that, Joanne Owasakun would have torn that ship apart.
Yeah.
She would have single-handedly fought the 10C.
Right. Or had
she'd have come out swinging.
Looked at it, look at, the captain and be like, sorry, I know Book's your man, but he's got an ass whooping coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we all know she can fight.
Yep. Yeah, she can.
Boy, that episode, I was not expect to see her that ripped. I was like, oh, geez.
Yep. And then Rios is a great pilot as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I think maybe I just dig like the pilots of Star Trek.
It's the bravado. And speaking of which, fucking Lieutenant Ortega's got a little bit of that Zorro blood.
She does.
It's pretty awesome.
One of my favorite things in that teaser is she gets a sword fight. Like, I don't even know who you are yet as a character, and you're sword fighting and getting backup from number 1 with a bow and arrow. It's like, wait, is there a D&D episode of Star Trek? Because I will lose my mind.
Oh man, don't do that to me. Don't say such things.
That's okay, but hear me out. That's not unplausible considering how many actors on Star Trek play D&D.
And I happen to know a fact how many of the writers do also. Yeah. Enterprise is going to run into the Radiant Citadel. Awesome. Fuck, I'd write that crossover.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Do it.
The one that I am most curious about is Lon Noonien Singh. Yeah, that's the one where I'm like, what is going on?
She's the one that we still get the least about, even with her teaser. It's like, yep, nope, you're security officer. There, and Chapel makes a comment about rewriting your DNA. I still don't know who you are.
Right, because like, if she's an alt at all, she can't be in Starfleet because of the ban.
Right.
Not because she has to not get caught, because obviously Bashir is an alt.
Yes.
I'm super curious about her.
I'm sure that she will be a mystery that will not be solved in that first season either.
No, I don't think so either at all. The one thing the thing I keep running into with her is, boy, does she look like a lot. And before I get hit with you're saying that all Asians look alike, this is not what I mean. She looks a lot like Drummer from The Expanse because they are even doing her hair in a similar fashion.
I don't know who this is. I'm gonna pull up a thing.
It's Kara G is the actress's name. In civilian clothes, they do not look alike, but in uniforms, like hairstyle, it looks really close to me.
Expanse. What's the character's name?
Drummer. Yeah.
Draper.
Yeah, Kara G is the actress.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, I was like, am I being weird? Like, no, that it looks pretty close.
This would
cool.
This would be a case where you could easily confuse your agents.
Yes. Yeah, because it's even very similar makeup with like the eyeshadow and the eyeliner. Now, I did notice that Lon has longer hair. You just rarely see it.
Well, because she's got to keep it in regulation, ponytail.
That's true.
Can't be down, although that apparently doesn't apply to number one.
I'm getting the impression that it's not even impression. It's very much implied in the few times we saw her, when we saw her in the TOS original pilot and then also in Discovery Season 2. No one really tells Una what to do. And Pike kind of gives her a wide berth of like, she's a little rough around the regulations, but yeah.
But yeah,
Also,
she does whatever she wants, or she doesn't do whatever she wants. She already knows what her job is. Everyone else is catching up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Cadet Uhura. I think that's cool.
I do too. I think that's going to be a nice, a very different version of her than we are used to.
Mm-hmm. It'll be neat to see an Uhura that is still have that like, oh my God, I'm on a starship. Not that Nichelle Nichols' portrayal didn't have a sense of wonder, but I think a really smart way that Nichelle Nichols played Lieutenant Uhura is that she is an officer. There's nothing's going to make her go, ooh, that's just not who she is. She has been in Starfleet for well over a decade. She knows her job better than anybody else. And you're not going to get her all googly eyed. This we're going to get young, like, oh my God, I'm in space, Uhura.
Yep.
Which is cool. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, there's a reason that I believe this is the ranking order. Like who gets the con passed off to them is like from Kirk to Spock to Scotty, then to Uhura, and then to Sulu. Like both Sulu and Uhura are lieutenants, but Uhura has seniority on him.
Yeah.
So if Kirk, Spock, and Scotty are off the ship, she gets the con.
Yeah, they rarely did it on the show, but she does technically outrank Sulu. They're the same rank, but I think she has seniority on him. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's one of those things where the producers of TOS got tired. They were like, we can't win every fight.
No. Like it
I'm sure that was still as like, it's still pissing off middle America that we've got an Asian man taking command or they would have Scotty come up, which was always weird. Like, why would you take your chief engineer away? Especially because if your first officer
works.
I know, but if your first officer and your captain are beaming down to a planet and there's potential emergency that could happen to the ship, you should probably leave your chief engineer where he can do the most good,
Fuck yes.
Engine room.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to remember, what is the name of the new, and speaking of chief engineers,
Hemmer.
Yeah.
Hemmer the Anar.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Which is a great return, and again, shout out to Enterprise as a show to bring in a character that is also part of the Andorians, but not exactly. So I think that's really cool. It did get pointed out to me that there's another character that is original series, and that is the character of Chief Kyle. He's a chief petty officer.
Yep.
Except he has now been cast. They've hired an Asian actor to play him.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, and Kyle survives all the way up into the movies. Because he's in. Well, Kyle's serving with Sulu on the Excelsior, I think. And Star Trek 6. I think Kyle's in that. I think they got the same actor like every time. Like the guy who's played Kyle is, yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Good. Interesting.
I like that we get a Nurse Chapel. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a very interesting take on Christine Chapel with this. So I'm fascinated to see where this is going to go.
I hope she is less, no pun intended, piney for Spock in this. We've already seen they get close, but
I don't. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be how this is being portrayed.
Right.
Just from that character teaser.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm super jazzed for Strange New Worlds. Like this is ticking all my boxes, and I love that every single members of the cast are so pumped. Like it doesn't feel like they're treating this like a job. They know what this means culturally and even personally. Like Anson Mount, when he tweeted his own character poster, he's like, if you could tell 12-year-old me that I'm doing this, like he would lose his mind, you know. So yeah, as Brad said, Chapel has a bit more of a strut now. Yeah. It's good.
And like I know Rebecca Romaine has talked a lot about the fact she's like, I'm on Star Trek. It's like I'm on Star Trek.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm playing this character. This is amazing. So.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the other reason I kind of like Hemmer so much also is first off, it lets you know that eventually the Andorians and the ANR come to a new understanding, which is cool. And also, I know it's still the most belittled of the series, but boy, do the new shows go out of their way to give Enterprise some love.
They really do.
Yeah, they're like, it was no one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, it wasn't really treated very fairly. Yes, it had its issues, especially the first 2 seasons, but you know.
It suffered the same thing that that Voyager suffered from, which was studio involvement.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it debuted 2 weeks after 9/11 happened.
Yeah,
that the World Trade Tower attack happened. So like both that and Smallville, like I think the trajectories of those shows would have been different had there not been a national tragedy.
Right. Yeah.
You look befuddled.
Oh, our actual app says we've dropped to like 0 chat, but Twitch is like not that. It's like way more. I don't know. It's being weird.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm super pumped for it. It's going to be great.
As am I.
Really quick, before we take a break and move on to Moon Knight, I just thought of something else. Strange New Worlds could conceivably have T'Pol make an appearance as a guest cameo.
I would lose my mind.
I know. There's no reason why T'Pol. I mean, yeah, there is a reason why if they don't have a story for her, but in terms of timeline and age, T'Pol is what, like she'd be like 250, 200 around Strange New World.
If like, I can't complain too much about I wish they hadn't made Michael Burnham the foster daughter of Sarek and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole foster brother thing with Spock. Because if they hadn't done that, we wouldn't have gotten Strange New Worlds. But at the time, season 1, I'm like, yeah, I get you use Sarek because he's a recognizable name, but why wasn't this T'Pol?
Right.
Why was the foster parent of Michael Burnham not T'Pol? Because that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So if they can bring T'Pol into any point in Strange New Worlds, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I still Spock notwithstanding, she's my favorite Vulcan in all of Star Trek.
Yeah, especially once Jolene Blalock was given more control of her own character.
Oh, Jesus. If she had just been allowed to run from the get-go and do exactly what she wanted to do, that show would have been a different show in the first place. So,
yeah,
because she grew up a Trekkie.
Nice. Okay, one more really quick. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around on character pages and I'm looking at the Omega page again. There's a quick shot in his trailer where it sure looks like this version of the Enterprise, he also has transporter controls. Which would make sense during emergencies, and also I have to get this the fuck off the ship now. Bye.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we can officially take a break. And we'll come back with Moon Knight.
All right.
Welcome back. Those are some good commercials.
The magic of the internet.
Internet editing. Oh, God damn it, homicidal fire cow. Sometimes he pushes it.
Sometimes? Okay.
So Moon Knight. That's a weird ass show.
So I was talking about this with our friend Matthew. And you and I have had the same discussion where there are two camps of Moon Knight, and there are people who know nothing about Moon Knight to I have a passing interest in Moon Knight to I've read some Moon Knight comics, that covers a wide range. And then there are fans of fucking Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I'm not in this camp. I'm over here. Yeah. I'm on that spectrum. And so I can watch this and like, yeah, this is as weird as I expected. Yep. And man, it's great.
Yeah, I love it. It's just it's fantastic, and it's so weird, and I kind of love all of it.
I think one of my favorite bits of acting that why am I blanking on his name? I've got the page open.
Oscar Isaacs?
Oscar Isaacs, thank you.
Yes.
Is in the village when he's trying to give them the artifact, and the other personality keeps
Khonshu?
Fighting him. Yep.
Fucking F. Murray Abraham.
Oh man, that was not the voice I was expecting out of Khonshu or either. the attitude.
No.
It's great. It's like, just go back to sleep, idiot.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Someone reviewed it at this is what happens when Venom gets a better writer. And I unabashedly love both Venom movies, by the way, but this is handled much better.
That's fair. I enjoyed everything that they did. I loved all the little notes. I definitely feel bad for Stephen Grant. He's not firing on all thrusters, and
no,
he's not I wouldn't even call him great at his job. He just really wants to be. He wants to be a docent. That's his grand ambition in life.
Yeah.
Is to be a museum docent, and he's just stuck working in the gift shop.
Right. When it comes to the Moon Knight stuff, though, I'm actually pretty impressed with how Disney handles the violence. Because one thing, if you don't know the Moon Knight comics, y'all, Moon Knight is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's savage when he goes to town on somebody. It's nasty. And I like how they're able to kind of hide that. I like the fact that, like, a demon dog is terrified once it stops being Steven and it becomes Moon Knight. And, like, this demon's trying to scratch its way out. Like, and then Warner Brothers style gets pulled right back into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
I appreciate the fact that now, like, having seen that scene in the trailer and not really knowing what Moon Knight was beating on, I'm glad it wasn't a human.
Yes, although I think we might get that.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure it's coming. But I was pleased that it was some sort of demon jackal. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn it, Kevin.
I know, I saw that too.
Yep. I appreciated Ethan Hawke for I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or this is just the way age has worked on him, but I almost felt like he was doing a young Nick Nolte.
I could see a little bit of that.
Yeah,
that's possible.
I think it's just as he's aged, he starts looking like Nick Nolte did when Nick Nolte was that age.
Right.
Because Ethan Hawke is what, 40? He's in his early 50s at this point, right?
He might be older than that.
Is he?
I don't know. Oh, he's 51. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he's a year older than I am.
I mean, I think they're intentionally making him a little bit older looking here, like, you know, kind of giving him the unkept long hair and all that stuff. I mean, he's not as old as he looked in The Good Lord Bird, where he played John Brown, where he was fantastic. But
I still need to watch that one.
So good.
Yeah, Nick Nolte was born in 1941.
Okay.
So
I'm enjoying it. I also love that poor Steven still has a flip phone. That cracks me up.
Yeah, all of these characters, like, we haven't really met Mark yet, which I appreciate.
Right.
Like, and my familiarity with Moon Knight is definitely the more modern take where schizophrenia is part of this, and but I've only ever known Mark Spector. I've never heard of the Stephen Grant character. And like when I was talking to Matthew about it, he's like, his introduction to Moon Knight was Stephen Grant, and then Mark Spector came along, and it really, it's like, what's going on? So
right.
He's holding off watching the show. He's like, I want 3 episodes to drop, and then I'm going to watch 3 of them all at once.
That totally makes sense for sure. Wait, I didn't know, Bex, there was a QR code in the episode that led to a free comic to read? Shit, I have to rewatch it. I didn't know that. Unless it was in the credits or something.
I don't remember that either.
Huh. Oh, really quick. Speaking of little hidden gems, everybody who's seen the last episode of Picard, call the phone number on Q's card. Call it. Look it up so you get a better picture of it. Call the number. You have to call that number. Okay. Anyway, back, and I'm not gonna say anything. Call it. Don't say anything in the chat either. If you've done it and people have it. Okay. Back to Moon Knight.
Yeah, Beck says yes. It's in the episode.
Huh. I'm gonna rewatch it because it airs tomorrow, Wednesday for podcast listeners. Today, I guess. I didn't notice this before because I'm not as well versed in a lot of Egyptian historical clothing and items of war, but Ibrahim pointed this out, that he really appreciates the costume design on the version of Moon Knight we have seen so far. In the way it's basically the moon is like is essentially a mirror that is holding multiple thick layers of linen, which is what Egyptian warriors used as armor. It was very thick layers of linen for their chest armor, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So they've been doing some research on how to make it look, how to make it look correctly. That's pretty cool.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I am interested to see in where this show is going to go, especially in the context of where the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been going since Shang-Chi, really.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Moon Knight has a bigger spot to play in the bigger MCU, or is this kind of this thing?
I kind of do and don't simultaneously. Like I was talking about all this with Matthew. We have exited the phases of the MCU where everything are these tiny points that are leading up to this big story, and it's this giant narrative, and we're bringing everybody together, and it's very traditional superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From Shang-Chi forward, we have entered the weird shit.
Yeah.
We are now in Marvel weirdo territory, which is great.
That's my Marvel wheelhouse.
But they're also like, we're not trying to, get everybody to the next Avengers movie. We're just playing with weird shit, and things that are going to show up in Shang-Chi may resolve in Thor: Love and Thunder, for all we know.
Right. Yeah.
Things that happened in the Eternals may not resolve until Quantumania. Yeah. That's not true. I think what happened in Loki is going to resolve in Quantumania.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's still a lot of interconnectivity going on. They just don't want to they're not tied to, we're all going to take on Thanos at the end. It's now like, there's so many things that we have to take on. It's like, you guys go over there, we're going to go over here. Just go wherever Cap points and it says, do that over there. Right. I'm going to go take out these people. You do that. Oh, Sam's job is going to suck.
Yeah.
When he catches up with, like, when everyone else goes, okay, here's what's been going on, Captain America. What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh,
I thought it was bad with one wizard. What are you people doing?
Right. Yeah, I think it's a great start. I know there's a lot of mixed thoughts on the first episode of Moon Knight, but I think those people are having issues because, again, they created what they thought the show would be, and it's not.
Wow, that sounds like a very similar theme that's been going on with almost everything that Disney Plus has put out for both Marvel and Star Wars.
Right. I went into it thinking, I like Moon Knight a lot. Moon Knight's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically, anything I know about Moon Knight, I just turned it off. Because it's like, Moon Knight's fucking weird. So I'm ready for weird. And it gave me weird. I was happy with that.
Mm-hmm. It is a weird show, and I don't expect it to get less weird as it goes on.
Right.
I do think that they've hired the right people to play those characters. I think that Oscar Isaacs is doing fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
His Stephen Grant feels very different from the little bit that we get of Mark Spector. He's talked about the fact that he went very deep into very specific personality traits that each of them had that had nothing to do with the other one, so that he could very well delineate who they were.
Right.
And I look forward to seeing more Moon Knight itself on the screen. I'm glad that they didn't wait to like reveal the costume like 3 episodes down the road. It's like, oh no, there he is. There's Moon Knight.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna get the Moon Jet. All right, fine. Spoilers all. The Moon Jet is just shaped like a crescent moon. Like it's
Yep.
Because remember, Moon Knight's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say this. I also appreciate that pretty much all of the footage from the trailer that I've seen for Moon Knight was the first episode.
Yeah, I dug that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, cool. I really have no idea what's coming, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad they're sticking to that formula of like, everything that we're going to give you is going to be in the first 30 minutes of whatever it is you're watching. So you'll just go, oh, I don't know what the show is about.
Yeah.
I don't know what this movie is about.
Yeah. Sure. I'm going back to it though. F. Murray Abrams. Oh, great. The idiot's back.
Oh, man. That, like, his take on Khonshu was wholly unexpected.
I can save us. Let me take over.
Go back to sleep, dummy. It's like, wow. This poor man.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm here for it. So I'm excited. We don't have to go into it now because I think right now I'm the only one who's watching it. Norm brought it up. The Halo series on Paramount's not bad.
I need to watch. It's been on my mind. I haven't sat down and watched it yet.
If you don't know the lore of Halo very well, or if you're able to forget it, the show works a lot better. It's not following it's not following the quote canon of the Halo series.
Great.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mostly what I know of the lore is there's this super beefed up, genetically modified soldier named Master Chief.
Yeah.
There's one group of aliens on this Halo thing that he fights. And then there's this other group of aliens that both of them have to fight because they're like a parasitic.
Yeah, it gets there.
Alien. Yeah.
Yeah. But so far
that's it. And also there's a Halo and then there's a holographic computer woman.
Yes.
That's it.
Played by the same actress who was the voice of Cortana in the game. So good for her.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Kevin, we will probably Kevin, we will probably get to Our Flag Means Death, but we have to wait till everyone watches it. I know Denise and I have watched it.
I still have not. I need to.
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yep, I'll get around to it.
It's a quick view. I think it's 10 episodes. They're half hour each. Yeah. So
can do.
Yeah.
I think the next thing that I am going to put all my energy into going to view is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, man.
It finally debuts this Saturday. It had a limited release last week before last, which I thought was the actual release. So I was mighty offended when I'm like, hey, this movie finally came out. Wait, why is it only playing one day at one theater twice in all of Portland?
Right.
Like, oh, okay, so this was a sneak preview. That's fine. I'm planning on trying to I just need to figure out which theater I'm going to go see it, but I plan on seeing it this weekend.
I think it's playing at the Hollywood.
It is. That is one of the theaters it's playing at. So, I just, oh man, Yochu King. I'm fascinated to see, and I'm going to try to make a point of using that name. I know I just said something that everyone would. What was that? Yo Chu King is Michelle Yeoh's actual name.
Right.
Yo Chu King. She's actually said has said in an interview that I read last year that is one of her regrets is not making more of a point of asking people to call her by her actual name as opposed to the name that she made up.
Right. The anglicized name.
Yeah. Her original stage name was Michelle Khan.
Ooh.
The first couple movies that I saw her in, she was Michelle Khan. And then it was Michelle Yeoh. And Yeoh is the only part of her name that is her name. So Her actual first name is Chu King, which she pronounces. She's like, it's easy to say. You say Chu and King, Chu King. So there you go. There's that.
Yeah. I read an interview about the film. Apparently, Marvel and Disney actually approached. I'm going blank. Dang it. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, but specifically Daniel Kwan. Marvel and Disney have recently approached them for Loki. And their attitude was, nah, we want to do our own multiverse movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So this isn't a movie where it's like, well, we didn't get our chance, so now we're going to do ours. And this was them turning down that because they're like, no, we have a vision for our own weird-ass multiverse movie, and we're doing it. So it's pretty cool.
I think this is going to be an interesting movie. It's already being touted as like the best science fiction movie in like a decade.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for it. So
I think one of the other things that's notable is the return of Ke-Huy Quan, who everyone knows better as Short Round. What was that?
Oh, it's just me once again sighing for all the Indiana Jones ideas I've had with that character.
Oh yeah.
You know, I did see for a little while, it was trending for a little bit. They're like, how come no one's talking to him? Like, it makes sense for Indy to pass the hat off to him.
You do know why he like this is his return to acting.
Yeah, I know.
Have you read the interviews that he's given about this?
No, I've read a little bit, but not the whole thing.
He basically has said that he had convinced himself that he didn't like acting, and that's why he left.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to kind of come to grips with the fact that he's like, oh, I do like acting. I love acting.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Hollywood bullshit. I hate the fact that I was never hired for things because I'm an Asian man.
Yeah.
And they couldn't see past that. It's like, oh, you were always Short Round. You're always Data. I don't know how he's pronounced in the Goonies.
I don't remember either. It bounces
so
around.
Like he has a handful of credits. He's going from Everything Everywhere All at Once to American Born Chinese.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like he's come back to acting. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's also working with Yo Chu King on that as well.
Nice. Yeah, and you know what? It's not too late for him to go back to that.
It's not.
Raiders universe. You place it in the 70s and you play with a whole new style. You know, there's still artifacts to go after, and there's still assholes bent on world domination using. It's all still there, but instead of it being pulp, now you've got Grindhouse. You know, adventures. Yeah, it's still there. It's don't get me going. It's still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that there's merit to that entire idea.
Yeah. Plus my, World War II era Indiana Jones story where Short Round is now working he's basically intelligence for the Chinese army, and he basically forces Indiana Jones and Lao She to work together because they would technically be allies during World War II. And that's shenanigans would ensue.
That they would.
Yes.
Yes, Indigo. He's in American Born Chinese. He's playing Freddie Wong.
That's cool. Well, I think that's a positive place to wrap up the show.
I think so.
Yeah. We'll be back next week with Denise.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a big Avatar, right? 4 episodes?
Yeah, I think we can shoot for 4 episodes.
Okay. And I got to hit you up about something about that later, too. So.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, because I've watched the first 2, and it doesn't feel like enough to really talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what else we get up to.
Cool. Maybe I'll have something else to announce next week.
That would be neat.
That would be very neat. Well, with that, I'm Aaron Duran.
And I'm Kaebel Hashitani.
And we'll talk to everybody next week. Finger guns, yes.